So, hi there, and welcome to the content creation show. I wanted to come up with a scene looking like this. Wait, let me see if I can do that. Now I'm too small. Let me make this a little bit bigger, and we can kind of go like, hi. So, welcome to the show, and let me just double check because I don't seem to be on YouTube at all of a sudden, and I rely on that to actually see whether if there's anything going wrong with my live show. One week it works, and the other week it doesn't work anymore, so I'm a bit lost. Okay, here we go. Here we see it's supposed to pop up somewhere, and this time around it doesn't. Oh, there we go. Nope, I'm not going on live on YouTube. Why? We'll figure that out. As we figure that out, I want to welcome you to the show. Welcome to the content creation conversation, as you can see from here. And today we have a special guest. Special in the sense that I was silly enough to try and talk him out of using his key title for himself. Shouldn't have done that because apparently it is his call to fame. So I've learned this topic. I've learned this thing as a LinkedIn trainer or a LinkedIn enthusiast, which is give advice only when you're asked. Give tips only when you're asked. Don't try and be smart and give tips even before you're asked because it doesn't always pay off. Hi everybody in the show, welcome. And so before I go on to introduce him, I want to share with you how I got to know my guest for today. So I got to know Ben in a clubhouse room, and he is this amazing Excel expert, and it's nothing. It's crazy to try and even compare it with a LinkedIn expert because the things you need to know in Excel is like just ugh. And he's got this wonderful course. It's going on and on. He's going on and marketing it and everything. But his branding is just the exact opposite of Excel excellence, which is like someone who's got it all, who can do it all, who's great. Which got me really confused. So I avoided him for a bit in the beginning, and then after I got to know him a little bit better, and we found a common thread between the two of us. And we didn't believe it too until what we did was we went on to a private room and we spent, I think, it was supposed to be a half an hour thing, but it ended up as an hour and a half. And he was sharing his card to fame, and I was sharing. Yeah, you say that now, Randy. You say that now. I didn't know that. Clubhouse is big, and I've been known to do that with a lot of people that I don't know are popular and famous and everything. And I speak to them, and I realize after a while that you know what, actually, they are bigger than I thought. So, hi, Jacob. Hi. So, don't distract me. Let me just get on with this. So we got to share. We share a lot of tips on LinkedIn, and he shared with me on his Excel and his podcasting thing. And this is why he's on the show today, because ever since then we built stronger and stronger bonds. Today we're sharing. I'm buying from him his access from AppSumo. I've got nothing that he wants because So this is why it's good to have a friend who's crazy like you buying too much AppSumo stuff because you can share it. Just saying. But today I brought him on the show because I figured out something that he shared. He didn't think it was a very big deal, but it was a much bigger deal than anything else in the world. Because I'm always trying to look out for ways that the people that in my network can learn and pick up without costing too much money to try and establish their personal branding or their social media impact. And Ben, with this creative little mind there, working overtime, didn't see how big the impact he has. And that's why he's here today. Well, he knows now, of course, but he's here today to share with us his amazing tip. But before we go on to the show, let me just show this little graphic and we can go on. I hope I played the right one this time around. gotta get in. You gotta get in the frame,
I
Ben.
know.
Get get.
I'm getting in. You didn't give me any warning here. Hold on. Here we go. I don't mind failing. Here we go. I'm here.
Smile.
What do I do?
Right. All you have to do is smile. That's all.
Oh, smile.
I love
I'm in a
this.
box or a square, a circle. You
I
know.
know. I
Okay.
spend many weeks trying to find the best transition of the frame from the music piece and then to the introduction that I have to change every week for different guests. And in the end, I found this is the best way because it makes my guests run around as much as I have to run around to try and bring up the intro for every single one of them on the article, on the scene here, on the show, and on the post. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do a bit of running on both sides. So Ben, why are you so tall?
I'm not even tall. It's just my camera keeps falling because I had to move it around a bunch to like get in the circle. It was
I don't
like
know.
fitting a square peg in a circle. You know the whole thing.
Do you want to try that again?
No, no. Do you want to try the whole beginning? You said I was popular and famous and a bunch of lies. I don't know
Oh,
what
come
you were talking
on.
about.
You see, this is what we do. We get lost on the topic itself. But so let's come back to the topic itself. Ben, I want to welcome you to the show. I've introduced you a little bit, and I thought I did you justice, but apparently you didn't think I did. So maybe you'd like to introduce yourself.
I didn't say that. I love when people say we have a special guest. It's like every time. So if you're ever on my podcast, I'm going to say I have a regular guest today, and that's just going to be you. But I like to give advice on your ask thing. I do that a lot when I just over give when people don't want to hear anything, especially stuff that they can't change, like their domain name or something. Don't don't do stuff like that. But yeah, I'm here to talk about I don't know what all sorts of stuff. You think my I guess my top tips the IMDb thing, which I'm happy to share at some point. But I'm happy to have so many people here. I see Jacob and Troy and Chris
Oh, we see a
and
lot of
Randy
people.
from earlier and so many other folks. I don't know. Yeah, I can see the. This is my third time now. Before I didn't know how to see the comments. I was only in the private chat, so I'm
So
excited.
Randy knows you, and Randy knows that you're famous. I don't know how she knows you. You want to tell us a little bit more?
Infamous,
Oh,
infamous.
sorry, infamous. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. It's usually famous for a bad thing, or at least debatably. Is that what infamous means?
Yes.
So I've been fired from every job I've had since graduating college, which is 6 for 6. When I started my podcast, I was at 5 of 6, so I got fired during the podcast, and I didn't have to tell anyone that. I could have just told nobody. Even the people who interviewed me didn't know because they'll just call the former employer. They'll say when you worked or whatever and what you did and how much you were paid, and that's about it. So I was like, after the fifth one, I was like, whoa, I haven't had a choice whether I left all these jobs, like, because the first one they made me resign or whatever. Like, it was all sorts of weird things, but
Yeah.
it was a one person leaving, not a layoff. It was me. I couldn't stay if I wanted to, so it was a firing. Just sometimes there was weird flavors to it.
Okay.
But the point was, I was like, okay, well, what's going on? I'm finally realizing that I got fired because every time I'd interview, I would spin it into some other thing. And so I was like, okay, I've read so many self help books and I can't implement a damn thing, but they all say you got to get comfortable with failure. And I'm like, well, I'm doing a lot of that. I can feel that. So I put it on my license plate. No intention of what to do besides look at it every morning and get more comfortable with failure. And there's going to be a book,
Oh, I
maybe.
like that. I like the way you say get comfortable with failure instead of saying that I failed.
Oh yeah,
That's
because I
big.
don't mind. It's more like you've got to be able to step outside your comfort zone and approach the idea of failure. It's the FDR thing. We only thing we have to fear is fear itself. So we're fearing the fear of failure is kind of the thing we're doing, and we got to get past that because once you get past that, then whatever you're just learning, you're discovering whatever you want to call it instead of failing. But I think the only real failure is to try something, to mess up, and then to actively not learn from it, to like purge it from your memory because it's such costly advice that you just got from doing it the wrong way. But a lot of people want to just black it out, kind of men in black
Oh,
themselves.
that's a big one. That's a huge one. We need to. This is a whole different show altogether. We're not going down that road. This is a
What show
positive
is it? I
show.
don't even know. Is there a
This is
topic?
a
I mean,
positive show. This is content creation. Talking about content.
is this
Um,
oh, so it's
I
meta
know.
because we're creating content. Am I wrong?
I'll get you after the show. So we still have Chris. Welcome, Chris, to the show. Nice to see you too. I love your last name. My dad almost named me. I had a brother. He was going to name one Johnny and the other one Walker. So yeah.
And he named one Sebastian and one what? Walker.
Hmm. And so we also have Jacob. Jacob just got a new position recently. So Jacob, congratulations. Well, I hope you're doing well in the position.
Mhm.
And yes, we have, who else have we got? Oh, really? Talking about snacks? I'm hungry and I still haven't got it together yet. All right, good. Okay, so this is all a lot of. Hi, Troy. Welcome to the show. Nice to see you on the show too.
Jacob, if you need some tips on how to get fired quicker, let me
That's
know.
not what we are teaching and advocating for on this show.
That's my
This is
top
not the
tip.
show for that. You're terrible. We have also Tristan. I saw Tristan recently in one of the rooms on Clubhouse. Thank you. All right, so before we go into the rest, okay, some of them I have to censor out because, like, I want to keep my LinkedIn
Oh,
Live
is
license.
this okay?
Dandy. All right, so we're gonna get on to the show. So you showed me that one time, that one thing that you did, and that was what inspired me to
That
get on
one thing
podcasting.
that I okay. Well, the one thing that I did,
I know you showed me a lot of things. Um,
I'm saying you got to be more specific. But go ahead.
yeah, I'm getting to that. It's show. You gotta let me get to it. You know.
Yes, go ahead.
Um, so we shared a lot. We had a lot of long chats. If you don't know that, just just set a
We've cried together, just so everyone knows.
different show.
I
Get with
wrote
the
that
program.
down.
Let me
I wrote
lead.
down we cried together.
Let me lead. You can leave and it's on your show. Okay, I'm kidding. No, we did cry a lot on the shows, on different shows, different rooms. And he's a big ball of
Shows?
tears,
No, we
anyways.
just
He's a big ball of tears, anyways. So I don't know why. All right, so coming back to the topic itself. So we want to talk about how you inspired me to do my podcast because we know I don't have the voice for it, I don't have the accent for it, I do not have the tech for it.
disagree
Uh,
on all three.
my show. Get with the program. My show.
Yeah, you can fire me.
Um, and but the trick that you showed me was amazing because in the back end of it, today when we produce content, I always advocate for the fact that the content must speak to both the algorithm and the human. If you speak to only one, it doesn't work. So having a content that speaks to the algorithm and the human side of it, which is what you did with your podcast, and I thought it was really, really amazing. And I thought, like, if we could just share this tip with everyone else in what they're doing, and they find some form of it in that sense to do it in their own way. It could be a podcast, it could be a show that you're running. If you're running a live show regularly, oh, sorry, it just struck me. Sorry, I can do that with the live shows. Like, why didn't I think about it? And you could build your know, like, and trust factor there. You can build your thought leadership on the topic, and it's not just on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook or whatever you're multi-streaming on, but a much more slightly bit established site for the famous people in a sense. So why don't I let you go ahead with it and tell us how you do it?
Well, so he's referring to IMDb, which is the Internet Movie
Ugh.
Database. Where'd I go? It doesn't matter because oh sweet, so I get more real estate here. Let's fix this. Okay, so or make it weirder. Okay, so um IMDb. So they made it. Jesus, this is gonna keep falling, but that's okay because this is failure and that's how it
Do you have
works.
pants on?
Of course I do, but it
Good.
doesn't matter. It's not going to go that low. It's just going to get a little bit lower. Okay. Anyways, so IMDb they opened up. It might have even been like 10 years ago. They opened it up to podcasts, to music videos, commercials, all sorts of things where you can be on there. I happen to already be on IMDb because I worked for a video game company, the one that made Guitar Hero and Rock Band. So I was in there for Rock Band 2, Rock Band 3, Dance Central, whatever, as the financial planning manager. Because you can get credit as a finance person. You can get credit just doing your normal job if it's for a production that's being released, including video games. So, um, but the fact that podcasts are on there is interesting because, and you do not need a paid account, so it's 100% free, and you control all the information that's put on there. So, if you look on IMDb and you look up Failure Guy, which is my podcast, you'll find my thing. The one from a couple days ago is already listed on there. So I've had Carol Baskin on my show, which is probably the most famous one according to the star meter. But if you go to her page on IMDb, you'll see under self, there's me, and it's you can control it. You can give yourself credit. I give myself director credit, editor,
Of
producer,
course.
actor as Failure Guy. I'm not actually Failure Guy. I'm not myself. I'm Failure Guy. Uh, so I'm getting acting credit. And everybody who's on my show, it's a great thing to be able to give to your guest is an IMDb credit. I had Vedran
Yes.
Rasic, who
Yes.
from Lead Delta. Oh, what are you watching me or listening to me? Okay, so um, Ved, what he said he's been on 50 or 60 podcasts, and he was not on IMDb. So what I'm really doing is screwing myself by giving this great tip that only I've used, and now I'm giving away my first mover advantage so everyone else can put my same guests on IMDb on their podcast. And my point is, I don't get anything out of it except for showing you the way because it's amazing. You can put backlinks. You can put like, so for example, my Excel Exposure website is a main sponsor, and that's an IMDb backlink. That is super high page authority, and everything you submit is reviewed by human beings. So it's a huge pain. The system's clunky. So what I had originally done was made a PDF for how to do it. I had Vinny Potestivo on my show, and he kept telling everybody to put their podcast on IMDb. And I'm like, your podcast is not on IMDb, and you have Mandy Moore and Jamie Lynn Siegler and Topanga from Boy Meets World on your show. Why aren't you on IMDb? Here, I made a how-to guide just really for myself to remember how to do it. And I gave that to him, and then he had it up the same day, later that day. So then I was like, oh, okay. I'll turn this into a website because sharing a PDF sucks. We all don't, I imagine, like getting a PDF or opening one. So I made it into a website. It's all free. I can't possibly make money off of it. If you go to audiolinked.com, linked as in like LinkedIn, audiolinked.com, it's my how-to on how to do it. And even has a little intro from Vinny, which he recorded like 11 months prior, talking about how you can get credit on IMDb for being an accountant or whatever. So the cool thing is podcasting alone, you get to control what you say, but with the IMDb thing, you get to control the credit, not only that you get, but that you give. And like, I can give special thanks on an episode to anybody.
So you get more
I'm
credits
gonna
for
go
special
back.
thanks?
Well, so there's different things you can give. So, for example, in the last one, me and Ved did a really terrible impersonation of Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I want to give him special thanks for that episode, and I hope then it shows up on his page under the special thanks category because I don't think he can stop me. I'm just giving him a thanks.
I'm beginning
Point
to
is, I'm going to push the boundaries of what this can do.
I'm beginning
But if
to
you look,
regret the idea of bringing you up for this now.
so here, one of the things is I got a bad website that I'm not maintaining that well, which is failureguy.com. But if you look up, and it depends on how you phrase it, and you might not be able to recreate this, but if you look up who is the world's number one failure with #1 or whatever you want to call it, number sign one, I used to come up first on my IMDb page and then my regular page. Who cares if it's still on there? But my goal was eventually to have Alexa answer that question with me. Right now, she doesn't know how to answer the question. So that's the stupid goal I have. But I know if Google starts answering it with me, it'll eventually get there, you know? So that's the whole impetus behind most of what I've been doing with it. And the SEO though is really crazy to see. And I jumped up from, so they have a star meter behind the scenes that tells you how famous you are or whatever. And I was at 8 million, meaning there was 8 million more famous people than me. And I bumped up to 200,000 when I put my thing on
Over a period of how
IMDb.
long?
Over 3 weeks, I think it took to jump me up.
How many podcasts have you released then?
I'm at number 56. But so Vinny put his on, and mine's still more popular only because I release more episodes.
Yeah.
And even if I don't have as famous of guests, his guests are insane though. So like it depends on, it's a mix of like consistency and how many things you've got. But the backlinks are great because I link to my own Failure Guy website. You can put taglines, so "fail it till you nail it" is on there, things like that. So then when people search that stuff, IMDb is has huge page authority. So anything that links to you and also includes any of your little things, it's great. And you can do all this stuff, trivia, goofs. I haven't done a lot of the little things that I love about IMDb because I haven't messed around enough yet. But I could give away to a guest, I mean to a listener, a special thanks on the podcast. Whatever. There's
I
weird things you
like
can
that
do with it.
idea. It's beginning to look more exciting than it is. And tell us, what does this mean for someone who's trying to get famous?
Well, first of all, I would recommend doing the IMDb Pro free trial because it's 30 days free and then it's
Are
20
we going to
bucks a
pay for
month. But
it?
that gives you, yeah, well, no, so you don't have to pay to get your podcast listed or to upload episodes or anything like that. You do have to pay if you want your picture on there. That requires a profile, IMDb Pro. So it'll just show you a blank picture without that. And then also, but when you have IMDb Pro, it lets you go behind the scenes. So I could go look up Oprah Winfrey and see who her talent agent is and who her publicist is and all sorts of other stuff. And so it gives you all these behind the scenes metrics, and you can look up, see what someone else's star meter is, and whether you're more or less famous than them and stuff. Or it just has all my guests and their rankings and stuff. It's a really interesting insight. If you go to my website that explains it, the audio linked one, which somebody mentioned, I show the star meter increase and the graph there for both me and Vinny, so you can see that we shoot up big time, and it's great. We can we can give basically credit to, as far as I know, anybody, but certainly your guests. It's a great way to allow for an extra benefit, an extra reason for them to come on.
And I thought I was being special because I put all my guests on my shows onto an article, a LinkedIn article with the write up, the keywords, the hashtags,
You are being
and
special doing that. Yes,
and then
I
embedded
agree.
with the video in it so that people can actually go look into it. But you know what? I was not being smart enough because I never promoted that piece ever. I just left it on my feature section and just let it sit there.
I've
Uh,
recorded video of every single one, and I've released like 2 total minutes or 3 total minutes of video. It's just such a pain to edit. But I have all of my podcast videos. Like I couldn't release them as videos.
why
Meaning I do
not?
stupid stuff all the time. I almost said a bad word. Um, because why not? Because it takes forever. Even editing the audio takes me forever. I'm one man show.
Oh, let me show you this trick. I learned this from
I
Tristan.
need to get the
Tristan,
drums and the cymbals and the hat and to do so I can do the one man show.
you need a lot more hair for that. This is a trick that I've learned from one of the guys who does a lot of content repurposing and stuff. He always has a mug around near him and a second camera at the side.
A mug?
And a mug, yes. So
Okay,
it
well look at this one. Hey, look, Excel exposure.
can we focus?
Does this count as a mug?
Can we focus?
I thought we were focusing on the mug.
So what happens is that every time he knows that there's a point that he wants to repurpose in the conversation itself, this is what he does. He goes like this. So you never
So
have to
if
watch the
you're
entire video again. You just watch every time you pick up a mug and you just recut out the part.
But if you're the guest and he's not drinking, you're like, oh shit, I am. It's like bombing on stage.
Why can't you drink as a guest?
If he's not doing that, then you're not saying anything valuable. So, right?
Well, no one else is supposed to know about
So
this.
you're bombing on stage. You're like a comedian who's getting no laughs. It's like,
No,
come on, take a drink, man.
focus.
That's what I would think. Yeah, yeah, focus.
Terrible. Okay, so now we understood how important this is. If you are doing a live show, if you're doing a podcast, if you're doing a anything at all that involves you showcasing yourself as a talent. I love Kimberly. Kimberly is your big fan here. She's doing everything like I don't want to know what's going on with you guys, but
Thanks, Kimber. Well, she's just great, and also, even on my site, I linked to the official IMDb documentation too. If you want to use that, I used that originally. It's just such a pain, but I don't know when it, like a live thing, can work. If it's, I think, recorded and replayable. I don't know if they can't verify that it exists and only existed live. I don't know if you can put it up.
it's
Like,
available on all lives are available on replays, anyways. No,
no, I've been to things that people didn't that I paid for and they didn't let you replay it later.
why?
I asked the same question and I was not super
Oh, I
thrilled.
know why. Because they repurpose it for themselves and their membership, and then they
Yeah,
charge people to. I know.
sure.
Let's not go. Let's not go
But
there.
I guess my other point is, so you cannot upload a podcast unless it's already released. It has to be released. So if you've got one that's in the works, like you gotta wait till it's released because these human beings are gonna go try to verify it exists. But the sooner you do it after you start your podcast, the better, because you don't want to have to do 50 episodes. I think I had to do like 36 episodes.
I
So
was told that you should at least have 10 episodes of podcast first before you release them.
just talk to me for advice. You haven't talked to me at all. I heard you asking last week's person for advice. I'm like, why are you doing this? And then I heard you in a clubhouse room talking about which platform to use. I'm like,
Why are you stalking
Seb,
me on Clubhouse? What the hell is this?
it's not stalking. You can see me in the audience. But anyways, point was, I'm like dying in the audience going, Seb, just ask me any of this. And also I have it all for you for free. And he's like, oh, I'm going to ask Joe Blow, whoever the hell. I'm like, come on. If I had the LinkedIn question, I'd come to you or one of the many cool people I know who teach LinkedIn, but I certainly wouldn't not ask you if it was something that I thought you could
Oh, that
answer.
was not okay. To be fair, that was not a podcasting room. That was a sound equipment room. That's different.
Or I had to pop up on stage and correct a bunch of stuff and tell you not to go to Anchor.
That's a that's a different. He's got the same surname as me, okay? And I miss home. So, all right. So coming back to the topic itself, I'm so sorry. This is what happens when you put
Okay, wait, just to be clear, what is the topic? You keep saying the topic. Come back
the
to the topic.
topic
What even
of
is it?
getting people to put their podcast or their on their
Oh yeah,
videos.
no one's gonna do it. What I want everyone to do is share with me your little contribution email thing. You can blur out the numbers or whatever. When you submit it, you get like an IMDb email and says, "Here's your contribution tracking thing." Post that to me because no one does this. It's amazing to me that no one does it. I can't get people to do it. I make a whole how-to guide, make it as easy as possible, and they still go, "Oh man, this is a huge pain." Whatever, get a VA if you need to, but it's not that bad. It's worth it, and it absolutely will help. It cannot hurt you
What do you need
at
that
all.
number for?
What was that?
What-
I just meant post the confirmation. It doesn't need the number. It just post the email saying, "Hey, you contribute." It's like they just say, "Hey, we got your contribution. We're gonna review it," kind of thing. But that could be like a celebratory thing, and we can use hashtag IMDb failure or some stuff.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
I didn't do a great job of choosing a new word, but whatever.
No, you're not good at it. So good to know. And I love that. Kimberly, we should be paying you. You are summarizing all the points. This is better than AI.
There's no Lee at the end. It's Kimber.
Oh, sorry, Kimber. Okay, so coming back to the point. Coming back to the point of sharing this, which is the fact that we want to know that we know why we want to do it. The question is, wait. So we know why we want to do it. We want to do it because no, we know what we need to do,
Focus.
which is to put our podcast up there. What are the benefits for apart from the points? Because the point systems works best if you only if you're in the States.
What point system?
The IMDb points.
Why?
Well, it's not.
There's actors all over the world.
It's not applicable for outside of the US, no.
False. Where are you talking out of? Your derriere?
I think you need to put some background music. But tell us. So how does it work? How does the point system work?
I don't see what do you mean the point system? You just mean the star meter?
Yeah.
It just tells you how famous you are. That doesn't. I mean,
how the hell did you get up to 200,000?
Because I uploaded them all at once. Not that they think you did it all at once, because it goes back to 2020. But they're like, "Oh man, this guy's been doing stuff. We had him as doing nothing, so now let's bump him up to wherever he should be." I'm somewhere around 400,000 now. It's not like I kept that. What is this craziness?
It's called background music, just in case you curse.
It sounds like foreground music, and I'm not gonna curse. I mean, can anyone give me in the comments how many times have I cursed? Can I get a curse count?
Focus.
Just follow audiolinked.com. That's all you got to do. I mean, basically, put it up there. So the step, I put this on the thing. Step one is to get your podcast approved to be on there. Then you got to go ahead and separately upload every episode. You can upload them in bulk, I think, but I do them all individually because I want to make sure I don't mess anything up. And it's a weird process. You have it recheck for updates and stuff. It's like an old clunky system, and it also is reviewed by a human being. So
well, that's why people don't
do it.
But so now that you've done it and now that you've become popular, what are the differences that you've witnessed?
Well, first of all, I can use it whenever I'm talking to any potential guest as a benefit, or if they want to see if my podcast is legitimate, I can send them the IMDb link instead of my webpage, which is made by me and not designed that well. They could see all my guests and look through stuff like that. I can also it basically makes it so that all it does is it's another legitimacy factor, another way to establish yourself as a legitimate podcast, but it's a benefit to give to the guests because they get credit. If they're on IMDb, they get an extra credit for being on your show. If they're not, they get added to IMDb. So Ved wasn't on IMDb, now he's on IMDb.
Okay, so it gives you a form of social proof, and it shows that you are you're a real deal. You're not just some phony two pants type that came up with a website and a couple of what? You're more than that. Just the amount you spend on AppSumo in the years,
guys, whatever that means.
Just the amount that you spend on AppSumo itself is just incredible.
Yeah, I didn't buy the second pair of pants because of that.
Okay. So now that we know that we can use IMDb, which is something that nobody has used before, just to do their podcast or their own. If
I
you
wish I knew who
have,
told me. I don't remember who told me to do it. I followed all the documentation online, but someone said you can do it, and I was like, oh, I got to figure out how. But I wish I could remember who, so I could give them credit.
well, keep it in your heart and keep talking about it, and they will come back to you for credits. Don't worry.
The first
Um,
person to say in the comments that they want a special thanks will get a special thanks on the last episode.
you're better at me at this. So we check out the comments. We'll come to the comments in a bit. So coming back to the last bit of the show where you want to talk about social proof and why social proof important for everything that you do, because I can see the application of this for people like Hiromi, who is big on TikTok, and she's big in the fact that Kimber, Kimber, you're just amazing. Hiromi, who is big on TikTok, and she's got hundreds of shorts, and in each of them she's playing a role, and it gets better over time. And if she were to upload each of them onto IMDb, I mean, she already is an actress, but I can
Sure.
imagine having that put up. It's gonna just bump her really higher up. In
Yes.
the stars
Also,
of
you
dawn.
don't have to, as far as I know, you don't have to put everything up because I was at episode 36. I put in first episode 36, then 35, then 34. I just went backwards and I added in all my episodes individually over 3 weeks, maybe. So I imagine you could also, especially with TikTok or something where it's not very established as to how many things there are, like podcasts are like usually numbered and stuff. You could just upload all the best ofs. She could just focus on the ones that have the most views and put those on there and not do everything if you've got a giant catalog. Or if you have a huge podcast that has 200 episodes, you could just do the last 50 or something. I don't know.
Whoa! Did you know what you just did there?
Tell me.
TikTok has got a very good tracking system with its videos. If you share it out in any method, just by copying the link or just by sharing it from the app itself, it has a whole very strong UTM at the back, unique tracking metrics that ties up that every time that when a person watches the video, you'll be informed about it. You would get tracked. The whole tracking system is all that.
Who's the me? Who's me? Who said me?
Kimber.
Okay, Kimber's getting special thanks on the last episode. I think that's what she meant by me.
I guess so. There's a 20 seconds delay anyways. So what happens is that now that if I were to take all my top TikTok stuff, put it on IMDb, and then it gathers more recognition and more circulation up there, and it's backed by IMDb.
My only thing is I don't know what counts. So it says podcast, music videos, commercials. I just don't know where the line is. I don't know if TikTok.
Each of the TikTok stuff is a music
I'm
video.
saying you got to try and see if it gets on there. I don't know or look it up. My point is I don't even use TikTok honestly. So for me to be able to say that,
don't start.
I know I'm not gonna. But my point is, I'm not gonna say for 100% certainty that you can, but I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah, give it a try. I mean, because some of us do sketches on TikTok too. So like the whole very intricate sketch.
Well, you're very sketchy on TikTok. I hear.
Nice one. I give you that point. Point one. I came out with a new channel anyways. I have a new channel.
You should so if you do it, then you should be submitting them. Try it yourself.
I have a new channel. That one, the new channel, I can definitely put it up there. I'm very proud of the new channel.
Let me know if it works too.
It's for your mental wellness. Trust me on that one. Where you get to talk about clients who are not clients, that funny requests you get on LinkedIn. Trust me, you have no idea. You have no idea.
Oh, I have a question.
Oh yes, go ahead.
So we all hate the cold outreach stuff on LinkedIn for the most part.
Uh-huh.
I got a really annoying, it really pissed me off, and I kind of want to do a post, but a post above reproach. Everyone's gonna know now that I'm actually pissed. But in the post, I wouldn't look that mad. But it was so upsetting that I really want to call the person out.
You
What do you
can
think?
call the person out by doing one of two things. Either you educate or you entertain.
But I cannot post pictures of their
No.
conversation. I can't post the text of it.
Wait,
What?
depends on which state you're in, because in most states, as long as a public,
It's a text conversation on LinkedIn.
there are two laws in the states. One of them is you must have
This is for
explicit
recording.
right. You must
That's for
you must have
recording.
explicit right to share a conversation that you have, and the other one is you don't. But either way, as long as it's proven that it is demonstrated
You
in a
can't.
public place, it's okay to be shared. But I don't think a conversation is demonstrated in a
I
public
don't
place.
know. I think once. Well, I'll look into it. I'll look
Yep.
into it.
This is from a TikTok lawyer who was showing
But that's
people.
recording. I'm saying that's recording. Audio recording is different than text.
I know, but let's just.
Just saying.
It says I know, but he was showing, I think something Karen, crazy Karen or something like that. How
Yeah.
she doesn't want to be filmed and she was screaming not to be filmed, and he was touching on the laws that says whether you can do it or you can't do it.
I didn't ask to be messaged.
You put yourself on a platform. You allow yourself. You open.
And he put himself out there too. Anyways, we're getting off topic. But my
Yes,
point was, uh, that's BS if I can't do it.
you can do
Honestly,
it.
I'm
Just
gonna look into it.
no names and nothing, and make sure that anything. Yeah, I mean, it's not worth it.
I'm not doing it if there's no name. So I'm gonna look into it.
Why do you want to put names? Let
Because
people guess. It's more fun.
I'm just a general complainer. I'm not. I want
know,
this guy to
that
answer
part.
to his. You know.
Okay, so we're coming down to the end of the show. Let's go through the comments itself and see what
Oh.
we've gotten so far. I think I should have done this a bit earlier. So where do we start? We start with the conversation that Jacob had with his with Randy. Oh my god, Randy got in on it too. Oh my god. Oh, I love
I don't
this.
know if I'm seeing all the conversation.
We can see it in the chat later.
Oh,
So Kimber was saying get more comfortable with failure. I love that because Ben said that. So
Here's
I like
a
that.
quick clarifying statement. Do not do it if it will harm other people. Do it in a way that will only put yourself at risk. At most. I'm saying like do it in a safe way. You don't want to fail in ways that could hurt other people is my point. You know what I mean? Be careful with your failing.
Every time you fail, you're hurting your mom. What are you talking about?
You don't know my mom, and you've talked about her multiple times this week.
Something's telling you about my mom, about me and my mom. It's very telling about me and my mom. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. Yeah, you clearly are very close with her. Me and my mom text like 4 times a year.
That's more than mine. So, anyways, coming back to the comment itself, he's gonna get fired from the show. I love that, Jacob. You're quite right, actually.
That's why I said you could.
That bit. Oh, Jacob, he hasn't replied to my message yet. It's okay. I know a new job. It's not easy. Tristan asked this question. So you're not a Texas Ranger? Where does that come from?
I'm hoping he's talking about Walker, Texas Ranger, aka Chuck Norris. But I doubt it. I believe he's talking about the baseball team. And either way, I'm in Kansas City, but I'm from Boston, so I don't even understand what Tristan was saying. But I bet he meant something either funny or insightful, or both. So yes, I am a Texas Ranger.
I like that. Thank
I'm
you.
not the I'm the sidekick of Chuck Norris. I get sidekicked. Sad.
I
Why do you
cannot-
seem so like
I cannot
there was
wait
a
for
plan?
my Roadcaster 2 to come.
Hey, you can see a little bit of mine. Look at it.
Roadcaster 2 is coming out. They got
Well, I
confirmation.
don't know that.
They
This
got
is the
confirmation.
regular one.
They got confirmation from a guy yesterday from Roadcaster itself who went into one of the clubhouse rooms and he confirmed it. I saved
different?
that show. Huh?
What's different? They write 2 on it.
No, that's another show. Another show. I'll talk to you after. I'll talk to you about this after that. So if you guys want to check out the IMDb, the link is there. It's a little.
Audiolinked.com. And I don't make any money. There's no ads. There's no way to make money for me.
And oh, wait, where's the? I thought.
Someone linked it. For
There you
sure.
go.
Oh, that's my page. My failure guy. IMDb. You got to do audio linked. Someone did it. It says Ben's
There we go.
guide. There's the one. It's probably Kimber. It's just his LinkedIn user on my side. I don't know.
Yeah, she has a privacy setting set up. That's why.
Oh, Gidokles.
So we have Martin. I think this is one of your contacts. Banned by dropping from number 1 in the rankings, you become a better failure. Who would have thought that you can be better at
Martin's not in
failing?
the U.S. too, which is great because I need a worldwide failure. I need to be the world's number 1 failure, so it's got to be all over the place. I can't just rank 1 in the U.S. You know.
I can't wrap my head around this. Like people are fighting to be great at something. You're fighting to be great at being a.
Well, so like world's best accountant taken.
Yeah.
Wasn't one failure. There was no competition. I just took it. Just take it. So just find a untaken thing. I mean, if someone then tries to out, if someone says they're the number one failure and they oust me, I failed at that, and then the space time continuum like totally gets depleted, and there's a paradox. We all fold into ourselves and become silhouettes.
Okay, I think so ADHD people actually sometimes have to take medication, and there's a
I
little time
took it
frame.
earlier. I
There's a
took it
little time
earlier.
frame where they are nice and calm and at peace, and after a while, you can tell when the meds kind of fade
Are you
out.
saying you're off your meds? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what you're talking about. So we have. So if you need the link again, it's in the chat itself. Check
Yeah,
out this
reach out
link.
to me. I don't care. I'll show you how to do it. But also, if you do it,
Why don't you run a
send me
master class?
send me a message with
Why
the
don't you,
little confirmation.
why don't you run a master class on this?
I already wrote a master site. Nobody does it, but I will do a master class. Sure, I'm fine with that.
Like a
I'm
like a
happy.
LinkedIn Live and just promote it, and it's sitting
So
on the
when
wall.
me and you do our podcast and we release our podcast, we'll do that one. We'll put that one up as the example.
Sure, that's a good start. Yeah, but
Do
no,
you
my
want to
podcast.
do you want to be a co-host on my new podcast? It's called Getting Sassy, SAASY. About sass.
Oh, nice one. That's a good one. Let's talk
Yeah.
after the show. I like that.
We
I
can
love
go
that
through all
idea.
my AppSumo products. Each one could be an episode. It's 173 episodes right there.
That's one for every single day of a year. My God, that's a good one. I love that. So let's see who else is there. So we have Robert C. Peterson.
Robert's great. He used to be my life coach, and he realized that, or he had much difficulty. So he was the first person to have that challenge to get the uncoachable, you know. But he got me to release my course. I'm saying like he's great. I'm intentionally obtuse.
And we have Joshua too.
Yeah, Josh is great. Josh is doing amazing NFT stuff.
Oh, cool. Like genuine NFT stuff, right?
Joshua, if you're here still, so he did a Floyd Mayweather fight thing with an NFT. Yeah, so I bought newfightticket.com NFT. If you want it, Josh, it's yours, buddy, for free, or whatever, $8, whatever I paid for it. Not for free, obviously, but I got to transfer it over to you. Newfightticket.com. Come on, NFT. That's fun.
All right. So there's also instructions from Kimber. Thank you so much, Kimber, once again for putting everything out there for us. And Martin say thanks. And I know we're running a bit over time. Aww.
Go to excelexposure.com if you want to learn Excel. There's a bunch of free stuff.
There's a lot of free stuff. I tried to read through it, and I fell asleep reading through it. I was like, okay, this helps me go to bed.
It's all free, and then there's a button on the side that says premium, but the rest you wouldn't even notice that half the time.
I noticed that because it took me a bit of a try and get my payment to get through. I'm like, where the hell do I pay for this thing? There's so much things there.
Oh
Like,
yeah, you bought it. Seb bought it, even though I've given away my most used coupon code is 100% off. So that's not a great thing, probably.
okay, we have another talk. So once again, the audiolinked.com is the page you want to go to. Make sure you check it out. And then how do I change the setting? I will send you a link. So this is your name. So Kimber, when we show this, every time it says a LinkedIn user, this is you. I've done a GIF file on this before. I can send you a link if you want to. In that way, you can actually see how you can turn it off. It's all in the settings, privacy and settings. Visibility is the key button. Why don't we just show it now right then.
I hope there's another person who has that and is showing up as LinkedIn user, because you said every one of them is her, and then I hope they said something really inflammatory.
I checked on my phone. On the phone, that's why it's always good to have your live show be streamed on the phone at the same time.
My phone is this camera that I'm looking at that's getting me
I
right
have
now.
multiple phones. So
I have another
always
phone. It's over there across the room.
So if you're doing your live shows and you are not very rich, stop
Yep,
it.
go ahead, Seb.
And and you can just always stream your live show on the phone, either through LinkedIn, which is very heavy, I don't like it, I normally do it. I found out recently I can do it on the. Ooh, cool. It's
It looks
really
see through. Yeah,
right. Um, I do it on YouTube, and YouTube is a much easier, lighter version of it, and I find it really useful. Sorry, I put Ben out of the picture. And it
I'm
lets you
sorry. I
know
was
whether
taking my
you
clothes off.
it lets you know whether your sound is on. It lets you know whether you're visible, and if your live gets stops halfway, you know what's happening. Like you have to do this. So let me
The first
walk with
time,
you. Hmm.
the
Go
first
ahead.
time I got brought up by Gabe, if Gabe's still here, I didn't even know if there's more than two people watching. I had no idea. I still don't know how many people are watching right now. Where does that show up? I have no idea.
It's
And then
supposed to show in the
also,
little I button here in front of us, but it doesn't work properly yet. The API is not working properly. So the only way I can see is always on my own wall. So I always go in on my own wall and take a look at it from there or from my YouTube.
it's nice to not know though. I thought I was talking to nobody. I thought I was just messing around, and there was a lot of people watching.
And there
I
are
think.
times when you are actually talking to everybody and you thought you're talking to nobody. That's not fun.
Oh, I love it. I'll show up to Zooms, and sometimes I don't know if I'm hosting a podcast or being a guest. That's how together I have my stuff.
That's not even good on the This is not being this just not being aware. That's not good. All right, so Kimberly, if you're still here, I'm going to just quickly show you how we're going to do this.
Kimber, no way.
Kimber. Oh God, damn.
She won't
So
mind as much as I do.
I know I feel bad now. So you basically go in and you go into your own photo on the top right, and then you scroll down to settings and privacy, and you go down to visibility on the left side, and then you go in and you check out your profile viewing options is one, and you make sure you either click on full name and headline, or you can go all the way down to just anonymous LinkedIn member. This is what I do when I have to look at profiles and not be seen, because I need to look at the talents before they come in.
Is
And
the last name one involved too, or no?
there's a last name one. So
If you go down, it says who can see your last name. I guess that would.
I'm coming to it. Chill, buddy. Chill. I'm coming to it. Um, we also have this part where your public profile settings. This is a very good way to actually check out every once in a while, because sometimes the update doesn't pull through, and people who are not part of LinkedIn, they see a profile and different bits of it that is not updated, which is a pain. It's important to check it out here. One area that I know that might not actually be updated is this. Oh, my contact page is up. My service page is up. Is this so around here you can actually
One tip,
show.
real quick. It won't work on a Mac, but Control Shift R does a hard refresh, so it'll get rid of all the cookies. It'll do like basically if you did an incognito. Some people do that to see if it's updated. Control Shift R. I don't know if it's Command Shift R on your end.
I changed
but
all my keys, so it
hard.
doesn't work anymore.
Oh, okay.
I can't find the key back again.
You're the keymaster from the Matrix.
Command Shift R. See, it doesn't work. I need to find a key again. So on this is the second part of your profile that you can actually edit out what you want people to see and what you don't want them to see. And this is the part where if you have a public profile, I mean everyone has a public profile, but you can set it down to not be seen. And this is the part where you can go in and say, like, maybe I don't want people to see my current experience because I'm working in a company that my position is not released yet or announced yet, or the past experience, and stuff like that.
But just real quick, I've never seen that. That's insane. That's always there when you look at your own profile.
From outside,
Wow.
from outside perspective,
I've never even noticed that.
this is how you look. This is how your profile looks like when you are not part of LinkedIn. That means you don't have a LinkedIn account, and someone landed on your page. This is what
I
you see.
meant, but I don't. When I'm logged in, I don't, and I look at my profile. I have never looked and seen all those checkboxes or clicky.
You
buttons.
do. You just see them as little pencils.
Okay, yeah, I'm saying this is all news to me.
Yeah, there you go. So I like to leave it to the end, to the end of the room where people have to watch all the way to the end to get the key. So let me finish this part. So this is the part where you can actually go into more granular details of how much you want to show and how much you don't want to show. For example, you want people to actually come into your network and before they can see maybe your latest article or your feature articles and stuff like that. This is one good way to use this thing. The only disclaimer is this: if the person has a recruiter talent insights profile, which means they pay like 10,000 a year, then you can forget about anything you can try to hide because they're gonna see it anyways. So Yeah. So this is what I would say. Always check out once in a while because I remember my feature section did not show up properly here, and now it did. Okay, so good. So FYI, if you guys are interested to find out more, I wrote some articles, but I'm not a good writer. But these are the articles I wrote that list out all the different industries because LinkedIn went from 141 industries to 541. And if you read, and it went out to really granular and everything. And the good thing about it is that now you can stand out more in your industry if you select the correct one. So check out. I'm the only one so far who actually listed them out in Word. In like not I didn't do a print screen. I literally wrote them out. So you can do it. You can come into these two articles itself, do a keyword search to find a keyword relevant to your industry itself, and then find the one that really works for you. So just saying, took me many hours, but I hope it helps.
Notice when I said to go to my thing, I didn't say I'm a terrible writer, by the way, and then go read all this stuff. That was a bad sales pitch. Meaning you shouldn't say I don't write well. Go read what I wrote. Come on now, Seb. That I bet it's great. I bet it's fantastic. I'm gonna read it, and I don't like reading,
You
as you
just
know.
schooled me in self-talk. I like that. Thank you very much, Ben. Thank you for the kind reminder. So I hope this has been helpful for all of you. And Ben, I want to thank you so much for coming up to share your little tip. I know you're not getting paid for it, but
I'm not. Wait. Whoa. All right.
the social karma you're getting out of this is a lot more worth than anything else.
I no longer give permission for my likeness. All right.
Ah, no, no, no. Let's try. The moment you click on the form, that's what the form is for. You
Give me
do
an
it, that's
IMDb
it.
credit at least.
Let me get my podcast out first, and then my skit show and TikTok up first, and then I can start putting more stuff there. But I want to thank you. So if you guys actually use this tip, go to Ben's wall and give him little recommendations or give him little skills.
Just tell me
Skills.
either. Or whatever. You don't need to do anything special besides tell me.
Whatever he wants.
If they want to endorse me for something, that's their own prerogative. Bobby Brown style.
I know. So, Kimber, I hope this helps you understand how you can change out that privacy setting for your profile page. And for Ben, thank you very much again. One more time. If you want to tell us where we can find you and how do we find you, and a little bit about your course.
Yeah, so the Failure Guy thing, the podcast, that's available anywhere you listen to podcasts. Just look up Failure Guy. I also teach in Microsoft Excel Online. All of my old free training, which is in Microsoft Excel 2010, is there. But if you go to class.excelexposure.com or you click the link on the side, you'll get my premium training. It's one-time payment, lifetime access. And if you use the code FAILURE, you get 20% off.
Oh, wait, it's 100% off.
I could say it, but then
No.
then the cat's out of the bag. I have 10,000 of those that I can give away.
Oh, God. All right, so you heard it first from the Content Creation Show, and I hope this has been helpful for you in creating content that's more relevant for your audience and resonates with your audience a little bit better. Because you know what? Sometimes we go in a little bit of a gut, and it's hard to get out of. And this is why the show is running, and this is why I'm also coming out with a more serious podcast, which is called Simple Social Strategy. Because I've witnessed now in the last year itself a lot of people who are just up here and doing stuff because someone said so and someone did so and everything, but no one tells
Can I
them.
tell you a better one? I can't believe you didn't come to me for the branding of this, by the way. But I already own the website. And I've got a name for you if you want it.
What?
Socialmediatrained.com. People talk about
No,
me
are
media
we
training.
fighting with like Michael Stelzner? Michael Stelzner has got like billions thrown in that kind of thing. Social media
Fighting
training
with
is
Fighting with
his terms. I listened
not
to
a
the podcast
competition.
from the day I started off as a marketer, and I would say that I'm only as good as I am today, and I'm that knowledgeable on different platforms because of his podcast. If
No
you're
one's
a
going to go,
new,
oh, should I listen to that guy you mentioned or Seb? Then no, you're not going to compete because no one's going to compare the two of you. It's just you're two separate. Like podcasting is so diverse that there's no chance you're going to like lose any ground because you think you're competing with that guy.
So the whole point about podcasting or even on social media itself is that the ideal goal is one of the strategies right now is to do this. Think of the top 3 words that you want to be known for, right? And you want to aim towards that. So by the end of the year, by the end of your 6 months or whatever you want, You want to be able to go on the internet and search for those 3 words and find
Sim-
you and only you.
okay, simple social what?
Strategy.
Strategy.
Yes. So no, the reason is because like everybody talks about tactics and everything, and when we talk about strategy itself, when I throw it out there in the room, every time you know how they respond. They're like,
This is what Kimber gets the special thanks, honestly, because she's doing all this stuff. I imagine so.
"What did you do to her?"
I obviously hypnotized her.
Okay, we're gonna end the show while we're on a good note. So I want to thank you all so much for this, and check out the podcast. I'm gonna record 10 of them first before I release them out.
You're
And
feeling sleepy.
God, Ben, I'm with a kid.
No?
Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day, and let's have a little stream out show. Please don't click the wrong one. Thank you, Ben.
Fail it till
Bye.
you nail it. Bye.